Ephesians 4:29 says, "Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouth, but only such as good for building up, as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear." In preparation of the future marriage we hope you get to experience, I think it's helpful to discuss some strategies on when and how to talk about your past sexual sins. It's a tricky subject when you're headed towards marriage with someone because ultimately they're not your mediator. God is the one who needs to forgive you. But on the other hand, you also want this person to know who you really are and who they're really marrying and what you've been through so that they can really know you. While I don't believe in a one-size-fits-all approach to this subject, I'm going to give you some of my advice in trying to apply some biblical wisdom to this topic. So the first question we can try to answer is, when should you talk about past sexual sin? One general principle that I find really helpful in many areas of life is to ask, what fruit will this produce if I take this action? Because there's a biblical principle of you shall know them by their fruit. One way to know if you should talk about something or not is by looking at the fruit of this decision. If you do not talk about it, will you feel deceitful, and would the other person feel betrayed if they found out? Or would talking about this subject only bring up things in the past that you feel have already been dealt with? We should talk about things that need to be talked about to make a relationship as healthy as it can be. And whenever we speak, we should do so in love, hoping to build up rather than tear down. For example, Ephesians 4:15 through 16, 29, and 31 state, "Rather, speaking the truth in love, we are to grow up in every way into Him who is the head, into Christ, for whom the whole body, joined and held together by every joint with which it is equipped, when each part is working properly, makes the body grow so that it builds itself up in love. Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouth, but only such as good for building up, as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear. Be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, as God in Christ forgave." So with these principles in mind, one helpful tip on how to know when you should talk about this is by deciding when you need to talk about it. Is it necessary? I know that can be hard to decide, but try to be very practical about it and well balanced. If you're going on your first few dates, they don't really need to know about your past sexual sin history. If you've already gotten married, well, you probably should have talked about that a little bit sooner. Therefore, with that said, I believe the wisest time to have this type of conversation is when a relationship is headed towards marriage. Or to say it another way, when a relationship is actually getting serious. So if it's brand new, you don't need to talk about it. If engagement is around the corner, you probably waited a little bit too long. So if you get to that place in a relationship where you feel like you should talk about past sexual sins, it's also helpful to first decide why you feel the need to talk about past sexual sins, because our motive for doing this is really important. So you shouldn't be doing this so that you can feel forgiven. Ultimately, God is the one who forgives, because ultimately all sin is against God first and foremost. So your boyfriend or girlfriend is not the judge over you. It's also important to not go to your boyfriend or girlfriend or even your husband or wife to be your counselor or mentor or pastor. While marriage is a great place to find encouragement and counsel at times as you build each other up and talk about different things you need to talk about to gain wisdom from each other, a relationship gets unhealthy when it's a romantic relationship, when there's a counselor to counselee type of connection, or there's this mentor to mentoree type of connection. That's not what romance and a healthy marriage is built upon. So one healthy motive for why you would even want to talk about something like this is so that your future husband or wife really knows who you are. You want them to know who they're marrying, and you want them to know what you've been through, because our past experiences shape some of who we are today. And if you want them to really know who you are, they have to generally know some of the things you've been through. To deny big parts of our past is not redemptive. Secondly, if you've had premarital sex, have had a long history of porn addiction, or have had some other significant sin in your past, it is this person's right to know if they want to marry you or not. When you are married, you become one. We inherit each other's struggles when we get married. So it's only fair that people know what they are signing up for by marrying you. If you have struggled with something that could re-emerge, like a porn addiction, your spouse should know this is a possibility. Lastly, I don't believe that a boyfriend or a girlfriend needs to offer forgiveness to each other for past sexual sins that they committed when they weren't in a relationship with each other. I do, however, believe that when a husband and wife actually become a husband and wife and are married, that they do need to forgive each other of past sexual sins that they committed when they weren't in marriage, because their bodies are now one and they belong to each other. Now, I'm not saying that if you have this conversation in dating that's leading to marriage, you need to talk about it again when you are married. But I am saying that your spouse should have the ability to forgive you in their heart once you are a husband and wife for the past sexual sins that you've committed, and vice versa. If they've committed past sexual sins in their history, you should have the opportunity when you become their spouse to forgive them in your heart for those sins. Again, I'm not saying you need to rehash this and talk about it multiple times throughout your relationship. You just want to have the opportunity to know what needs to be forgiven. Now let's talk about what should specifically be discussed. Again, I think that biblical principle of you shall know them by their fruit is very helpful here. What's the fruit of talking about these details? If it's just going to do harm and no good, then there's no point to talk about it. If something is going to be redemptive, then that's a good reason to talk about it. The obvious problem here is that people will interpret that logic I just expressed very differently. Some people will feel like they need to share this certain thing, and other people will feel like I don't need to share that with my spouse. They don't need to know. And I'm not here to tell you what exactly needs to be shared or what exactly doesn't need to be shared. I'm just encouraging you to pray about what is fruitful and helpful and what the Spirit's leading you to share that would be redemptive. My opinion and advice is that you should share significant sexual past sins. Obviously, all sin is significant, but you know when there's something that is more significant in a way that affects you or affects your future partner. For example, if you've had premarital sex in your past, then I believe your spouse should know this. If you've struggled with homosexuality in a strong way, then I think this is something your spouse should know. If you had a significant struggle with porn use, this is something you should mention. The list could go on. These are just some of the types of things I believe are helpful to talk about. You should not, however, feel the need to list every single sexual sin you've ever committed. I don't think you should talk a lot about your sexual thoughts and feelings that have been sinful. I know this advice is kind of vague, but you just have to do your best to gauge what is necessary to share and what is not. Now let's talk about how you should talk about your past sexual sins. And I think this is probably the most important part of this conversation that we're having here in preparation for a conversation like this. Because how you talk about it will probably determine if this conversation was helpful or just hurtful. My biggest tip is that you should keep things true but general. You definitely want to stay away from specifics when talking about past sexual sins. You should say general things like that you have had premarital sex, that you have had premarital sex with multiple people, that you committed sexual sins but did not have full intercourse, or that you have struggled with a porn addiction in the past. Those are important types of details to share. You don't, however, want to talk about specific or overly graphic details. You don't need to share times, dates, details, or anything else that will give your partner unnecessary information that will affect their mind later. I don't think you need to list all the past relationships where sexual sin occurred. You don't need to share your number, meaning how many people you have had sex with. You don't need to mention what type of porn sites you would visit or what type of specific lustful thoughts you were struggling with. Too much detail is worse than too little detail when talking about past sexual sins, in my opinion. My last tip for you is that once you have this type of conversation, it's time to move on as a couple. Have this conversation, offer forgiveness to one another if you're getting married, but then move on. After forgiveness is granted and you guys are married, it's time to move into God's future for each other, and you don't need to look at your past sins any longer. Ephesians 5:11 through 17 says, "Take no part in the unfruitful work of darkness, but instead expose them. For it is shameful even to speak of the things that you do in secret. But when anything is exposed by the light, it becomes visible. For anything that becomes visible is light. Therefore it says, Awake, O sleeper, and rise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you. Look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise, making the best use of the time, because the days are evil. Therefore do not be foolish, but understand what the will of the Lord is." The focus here is moving on from the past and moving into the future. Christians are called to walk out of darkness and into light. Once we are in the light, we should keep looking forward and not look back. Christ paid for our sins, and we died to our old lives through the gospel. Let the past stay dead. Move on in freedom through Jesus Christ. Tomorrow, we'll continue our conversation about keeping the marriage bed holy.